Today I ran across a video with Ben Crump in it, where, and we all know Ben Crump because Ben Crump is a notable civil rights attorney that's popular, notable for his cases with Tyree Nichols and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and countless other civil rights cases. So we know Ben Crump. And Ben Crump is on to something. And I thought it was interesting. So I wanted to share it with my viewers and get your opinion on what you think. What Ben Crump has done, and we all know Ben Crump, his book here called Open Season that I found quite interesting years ago. Ben Crump. But the thing about Ben Crump is that he is onto something. And he's taking on a $100 million lawsuit against the NYPD, the FBI, and the CIA on behalf of Malcom X's children. And I ran across the video today, and I wanted to share it with you guys so you can tell me what you think. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about it. So I want to get right to it, and I want to get your opinion on what y'all think. So I'm going to pause the music, and I want to get right at it. So hold tight. Ben Crump is at it again, and this time he's really on to something. So I want y'all to tell me what you think, and then I have a little something to say at the end. Let's take it from here.
You have to put it all in.
First, I want to say fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. But go ahead, Ben Crump.
Context.
I need to hear.
Sure. I'd like to hear your response to what the response.
I'm going to pause that right there because the person you're about to listen to is Malcom X's daughter, and her name is, she's grown now. It's been 58 years since Malcom X was assassinated, and her name is Alicia Shabazz, if I'm pronouncing that right. And she's one of the daughters that's involved or spearheading the truth about her father and what actually happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it now.
Just read your statement.
But I also want to ask, do you hold the Nation of Islam as leaders and Louis Farrakhan responsible?
I answered that one. Keep going. She's just gonna make a statement, and we'll answer the other part of your question.
We simply want the truth to be known, the history books to reflect the organization, the orchestration of the assassination of our father, and we want justice to be served. Because I think what history has recorded is inaccurate. So we want the truth to be known. We want the history books to reflect that truth, and we would like justice to be served.
Amen. And as it relates to the Nation of Islam or any individuals, what we think is clear is that,
as you know, that's Ben Crump.
The federal government had infiltrated all of the organizations. So individuals who we might suspect was working for the Nation of Islam, we don't really know if they were working for the federal government or not. Because as Eugene, what's his last name? Roberts, there's so many names. And John Ali. They kept them isolated for a reason. And if you know anything about I guess, government espionage and so forth. And obviously, J. Edgar Hoover had made a determination that Malcolm X was one of the top enemies in America, that you use that espionage and whatever's at your disposal to gain information and to plot to take down what you believe is a threat. And clearly, J. Edgar Hoover had determined Malcolm X, this black messiah, a threat to the United States.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Now, before I go any further, I want to. Hold on.
It would be really good if the FBI let us have all the information that they have, but obviously they haven't done it in 58 years, so we're not very optimistic that they're going to do that now. What we will hope is that the New York government officials today, the current people who are in power, the mayor and the city council, will try to do justice by Ilyasa and her sisters, that the Justice Department, who have access to all the information, will finally try to give some measure of justice to Malcolm X's family after these many decades of the psychological trauma, pain, and anguish that they've had to experience over the assassination of their father. It is, and it also reminds us of the pain and suffering that her mother, Betty Shabazz, had to endure all these years believing that they were involved, but still not being able to get to the truth.
Get to the truth.
Venmo. We're gonna give it to you. We're gonna get the. You can. Attorney,
great research.
Great young minds, great brilliant minds said, Attorney Crump, maybe you should look at this. This is the video right after they killed Malcolm. And it's stock video that's out there on the internet. And it showed us.
Now, the gentleman there, he actually was security, and I'm going to read about this in a second. But he's the gentleman that was there on stage, and he worked security for Malcolm right there during the time in 1965, February 21st, when it actually happened. This gentleman here, Thomas Hagen, was there and saw everything. And he has been quiet, absolutely quiet, for 58 years. So this is why this is so interesting, because for the first time, what you believe or what actually happened is going to come to rest. Like Malcolm said, chickens come home to roost. And this is actually what this is doing. The truth is coming out about what actually happened. So I think this is interesting because this could change history. You know, so many times you see how the establishment, parts of the establishment, not the whole establishment, I'm not going to call any names, they want to erase history to make you believe something that didn't actually happen when things actually did happen the way they did. And black history has in many cases gotten lost, completely to nothing because of the establishment and what they want you to believe, showing face and erasing the history. But anyway, back to it.
Mr. Hassan and many of the video images.
This gentleman right here.
On the stage there with Malcolm.
84 years old now.
When he's there grabbing him at the collar, and you see the police come and separate him.
Gentleman right there.
And you also see him when they finally get Malcolm on the stretcher walking out. So that's what that video was, and we only saw it 2 days ago, but it showed him throughout.
And that stock video, everyone's seen that video when Malcolm was killed on stage. It was actually in the movie with Denzel Washington, if you hadn't seen it.
The video, just as many of the photographs show him in the video, and we're grateful that he came forward after seeing Ilyasa and the family fighting to try to get historic justice that had long been denied to them, to say, I'm going to tell them what I know. Are there any other questions?
Just for clarity on the video itself, you say that you walked out and on the chair was getting beat up by a group of supporters. At what point do the police officers come in and separate him from the supporters? And where are you in that case? When do they say?
Uniformed police officers showed up after this man had been beaten for a while and began to intervene. And initially, they made that statement when they saw him that I've already testified to. And it appeared to me, from my vantage point, that after they made a determination, they decided to let him go because they moved the crowd back and off of him, and he was making a lunge to escape. At which time I reached around the cop who was blocking me and made sure that he didn't escape. Grabbed his collar and held on to it until they decided we have to make an arrest. He's been held at the scene of the crime, trying to escape. We have no choice but to arrest him. But they were prepared to let him go. And that's my perspective, looking back on the film and also recollection.
We will keep you informed. Attorney DeMario Solomon Simmons.
So you heard it from Thomas Hagen, Mustafa Muhammad. What is it? The eyewitness that actually Attorney Crump has is going to kind of break this case to help turn back the times of history. But anyway, go ahead.
Another great lawyer and a member of Omega's here. He wanted to make just a brief statement because we're fighting for the truth to come out on so many fronts. And he is the attorney. Now,
I'm just going to play this because it's all part of what I'm going to say at the end. Again, how the establishment is trying to erase Black history, particularly down in Florida, and throughout the country, about what actually happened to Blacks by saying things like, or trying to, diminish how horrific slavery was and trying to make it sound like it was a good time damn near for Blacks and African Americans a few generations ago. But anyway, let's listen to this brother from Tulsa as he talk about the Tulsa massacre.
With the survivors of the Tulsa race massacre. And so, Attorney Solomon Simmons, if you make a brief statement.
Sure. I'm Attorney DeMario Solomon Simmons. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And as Ben stated, I represent the last 3 known living survivors of the Tulsa race massacre. And that's why it was so important for me to be here today to stand with Malcom X's family and his amazing attorneys, including my good friend and mentor, Ben Crump, because these type of historical wrongs and murders and destructions of Black communities and Black leaders must be some accountability. This family, just like my clients, have lived with trauma for 102 years. They lived with trauma for almost 60 years. And it's something that they deal with each and every day. And what it says is if you cannot bring the perpetrators of the murders of people like Malcom X, who was a worldwide figure, or if you cannot bring the perpetrators of the Tulsa race massacre, which is the largest race massacre in the history of this country, if there is no accountability, that means no Black person is safe, period. It means that it's still 1857 and a Black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect. You have the video, you have the pictures, we have the same things in Tulsa, and you have a witness here telling you what you've heard. So I'm just proud to stand here with this family and with these amazing attorneys as they fight to get justice. I stand with them. Our organization, Justice for Greenwood, stands and fights with them, and calling upon President Joe Biden, the Biden administration, our dear sister Christian Clark at the Department of Justice, to do the right thing by this family. Give them the information that they need. Give them truth. They're just asking for truth. That's all they're asking for. And the same things we're asking for with the Tulsa race massacre. So I stand here on behalf of my community and stand with this family.
Thank you very much, Attorney Solomon Simmons.
What do you need in place before you go forward with it?
think there's time at this point. Time. We need time. The 6 months has to run.
If you have a year and 80 days, what do you need?
No. Maybe you misunderstand it. We have to wait 6 months after we gave our notice of claim, which we did about 3 months ago.
So I understand.
Oh.
What do you need to get your suit in to file your suit?
Oh, we think we got it. We think we have enough.
So how can you file a suit?
Listen, if you can't do anything for 6 months, nothing.
By law.
Right.
By law.
Yes.
The law doesn't allow
That's
that.
it.
And who do you work for, man? New York 1. Okay, got it. All right. Any other questions? And if not, we will keep you all updated.
I'm going to pause it right there. I'm going to say that if it's $100 million lawsuit that they're looking to get from the NYPD, the CIA, and the FBI, or who all was involved. And you got the gentleman there that's an eyewitness that was actually there. And they're looking to change time around because, like, you know, so often we're hearing stories about how Black history is being erased to make it look like it wasn't so bad. Like Ron DeSantis says, I think his name is Ron DeSantis down in that's running for president. He says that slaves benefited from being in bondage, and we're supposed to accept that generations, not so many generations from now. It was just not so long ago that this actually happened. So yeah, we probably should try to, you know, include the government, include Joe Biden, and whoever we need to do in order to help bring the truth out, the actual truth. So let me know what you think about the video. You know, you can, I'll put the link down in below for you to see. And we talk to you later. 8,000 miles away. Peace.